Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Gimmick Minute Wrestling Podcast. My name is Jason, joined this week by both Michael, damn it. Muscle memory. My
Ouch.
bad. By both
Ouch.
Riley and Kevin.
Oh my god. Man, Jason, you almost just had like everybody turn off our show.
Oh, man. Well, we did almost 300 episodes of The Other Way, so my bad. Riley and Kevin joining me this week for another glorious episode of the show. We're here to talk about WWE Crown Jewel and some things that have happened on the wrestling news end, and also some stuff that happened on Raw, SmackDown, and AEW Dynamite. But before we do that, if you want to join in the conversation, please do so by finding us on X at Live Your Gimmick. That's the @ symbol followed by LIVYOURGIMMICK.
Mike's not on the show.
And in addition to that, you can also find us on your favorite podcast app of choice, preferably Spotify. Apple Podcasts is probably the easiest way. You can comment, give us your review of how you like the show and what have you. But without further ado, gentlemen, how are we doing tonight? Sorry, I was about 15 minutes late, so I'm a little rushed. I apologize.
It's okay. I think Riley's a little insulted, but other than that,
Riley's gonna be like Nikki Cross for the rest of the show.
yeah. Riley, do you have your weekly note? Yeah, see here, yeah. There it is.
Yes, I do have my weekly notes.
Well, I'm glad you have your weekly note. All right, cool. Well, hey, I guess we could kind of start this off by where we left off last week, right? We kind of gave our predictions. We talked about Crown Jewel, what was going to happen, what we thought would happen. And I'd say for the most part, maybe we were kind of on point. I'm sure there's a few little things that we did not get right, but
we did not predict that a outcome of Crown Jewel would be Logan Paul posing naked in the shower with the United States title.
Oh no, we did not. That was not on the
that
list.
Was not
you're
a bonus.
Correct.
That was not a bonus pick. So,
yeah, I don't think that was a bonus for anybody. Honestly, though, I mean that was just that was something you can't unsee. I mean it's very on brand though for Logan Paul, I guess.
It is, I guess. Yeah.
So all right, well let me bring up our picks real quick, and that way I can remind everybody what we had. And I'll share that with the group so you guys can see it here. So the show kicked off. I thought it was pretty interesting. It kicked off with the World Heavyweight Championship match between Seth and Drew McIntyre. And, Riley, you picked Drew to win. And I think, we kind of talked a little bit about it. Like, we wanted Drew to win, but unfortunately he did not get the job done. But I thought it was a hell of a match. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I thought it was, well, Riley and I kind of talked off air about what I thought was actually probably the best match of the night, but I would say this is probably second, third best match of the night.
Can't disagree with that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a good way to kick it off. And it was kind of one of those matches where it was like, I kind of think Seth was going to win, like going into it, but like there's always that, if there's ever a chance of a shock, like it could be Drew winning it. But again, not surprised that Seth did fall through with a win.
What'd you think of the match, Ron?
Yeah, not surprised at all, but overall good match. Just starting to really like this Drew McIntyre, his character, He just walks right by Damian Priest when he comes out and just lets him go, and he doesn't care. He's just out for himself now, so.
Yeah. I like it too. Like, he's not cheesy. He's not forcing things. He's just being him. And he had the crowd support, man. Like, a lot of people were really, really shocked. Like, a lot of people wanted to see him win the title. And it's because there's kind of a difference, right? There's the segment of the audience that just wants to see a title change, right? But then there's the segment of the audience that really wants a certain person to win that championship. And I feel like the latter is what Drew had. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think of Damien's failed cash-in?
We talked about that, didn't we, Riley, a little bit?
Yeah, just pretty cool. Sammy came in, stole it. He's just gotta. I don't know. Something's got to be done with it. I feel like it's getting overplayed. Like cash it in, win or lose. Just.
And I thought, what a concept if he wins and then he still has his match with Cody later on.
Yeah.
Like, how interesting would that? So would that have made that a title match then? Like, I guess the wheels started spinning in my head because nothing like that had ever happened before.
I mean, it would have to probably be something they would have to, like, book that night or whatever. But, like, yeah, I don't know how that would be done. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like they would need to put it out there, like, hey, if he ever cashes in, he has a match. Like, is it a title match now or something? Like,
Yeah.
like I don't know if it would have been a title match. So I mean, so in that respect, I'm glad they didn't do it because it would have been a title match, and then Cody just beat Damien, and then Cody ended up winning, and then like he just beat the guy who just won the world title. You know what I mean? So
right.
It would have to be something like, okay, they have a match earlier in the night, and then maybe David cashes in later or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it'd be an interesting dichotomy.
Yeah, it'd be different
to have that happen. You know what I mean? Like we've seen how many versions of a cash in before. Like that's one version of a cash in we've never seen.
Right.
To have a guy cash in on the first match and have to defend it later.
Yeah, everything I just said has happened so many times.
Right.
But you've never seen like like you've seen it like, okay, Seth Rollins at WrestleMania obviously lost to Orton and then he did it. But you've seen scenarios, not even cash-ins, but you've seen scenarios like the night Jericho snuck in and won that race against the clock match for the world title. Like he lost that was the night he lost to Shawn Michaels earlier the night. You know what I mean? And then like he all of a sudden came in and like won the world title. You know what I mean? So not a Money in the Bank, but like a similar situation. So yeah, you've never seen the opposite.
Yeah. So then we got the women's fatal 5-way for the women's world heavyweight championship, and of course, Mommy came out on top. I thought the highlight of the whole match though was Shayna Baszler having 3 women in a submission submission move at the same time. Like how freaking awesome was that?
Yeah, that was cool. That's kind of like old school Shayna. Like when she was it Elimination Chamber one year where she just was fucking choking people out left and right.
Yep.
I miss that Shayna Baszler. I don't want her to come back.
Yeah.
I want the Shayna Baszler that tortured the shit out of Dakota Kai for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Like that's the Shayna Baszler I miss. I thought the finish of that was kind of cool too, with Rhea hitting the Riptide off the top rope onto 2 other people. Like I thought that was a creative way to do it.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, I guess for me that it was what it was. So, but
yeah. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what match happened after that. Was that?
So
if I can find
there was another one. Then the Cody match, I think.
Let's see. Oh, that's SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't have them in order of what happened. Okay, so JD McDonough, then Sammy had the kickoff show match. Then you got the World Heavyweight Championship match.
Was
the 5-way. John Cena and Solo Sikoa was third.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I was talking with Riley about. Like I thought was like, to me, match of the night in terms of story and getting somebody over. Not maybe match quality, but I'll say this, like John Cena was terrific in this match as far as like how hard he worked and not giving up, but like making Solo just look like such a badass and putting him over in such a big way. Like to me, okay, it's not match of the night for like in ring work performance, but as far as story and like getting across what you need to get across, like I thought it was top notch.
Yeah. Riley, you got any thoughts to add to that?
No, that Kevin said it perfectly.
Okay. I'll be honest with you. I thought the in-ring work was really good though too.
Oh yeah,
Like
well, yeah,
him
it
working
was,
the
yeah.
hand the entire time. Like I thought that was one of the best matches, like physical in-ring matches I've seen John Cena have
Mm-hmm.
in a very long time. And that's what one of his first one-on-one matches he's had in 5 years or something like that. Like it was brilliant. I mean, just the way he worked the hand and and some of the bigger moves that he tried to pull off and stuff like that. I thought it was freaking hilarious that he yelled the spot out to Solo to hit him with the spike a couple more times. Like
Yeah.
he said it so freaking loud that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, these new speakers and recorders, they pick up everything now.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Yeah,
they do.
I guess what I was saying in terms of quality is that I guess it wasn't a Dave Meltzer 8-star Tokyo Dome.
No, and with those two guys, you're not going to have that. But
no, but
man, to
like,
me, that was a 4-star match at least. You know, if I'm rating it like that. But
oh yeah, 100%. Like I said, it just made Solo look, I mean, so much stronger than he already is.
mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it definitely put Solo in the light that you wanted him to be in going forward.
I definitely think they had to have him win the match.
Oh yeah,
that's why I
yeah.
picked them.
Yeah, you did. Nice job. Credit to Riley getting that one right. So then they followed it up with Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio. I mean, I thought this match was really solid. I think people are making way too much out of Logan Paul saving Rey from near death. Like, Rey had pretty much rotated at that point. Like, if Logan hadn't caught him, I think he would have landed maybe on his face. I don't think he would have landed on his neck like everybody makes it sound like he would have.
And plus Rey's pretty light to where like even if he had like I don't know, like I feel like he was still semi high enough to where he could have got his like hands down. You know what I mean?
And his hands were about to the mat when he got caught.
Yeah.
Now credit to Logan Paul though. That was an amazing catch. The fact that he got down underneath him and was able to catch him and bring him up. I take nothing away from that. It's just I don't think that was as drastic of a oh my god he saved him from paralysis.
Yeah,
as everybody is trying to make it seem.
I would say he saved him from maybe like slight concussion or maybe broken hand or not broken hand. You know what I mean, like sprained wrist or something like that. But like probably not broken neck or anything like that. So
no, I honestly I think he would have hit stomach first. I don't think he would have even landed on his head.
But to your point, kudos to Logan Paul for just having veteran ring savvy like awareness. You know what I mean? Like he
why is he so good?
Exactly.
Like why? Like
I know.
It makes no fucking sense to me why he's so good.
He's just it's incredible. He's like Barry Windham. Like Barry Windham to me was one of the most naturally gifted like people to ever step in the ring. You know what I mean? Like, and Barry Windham was 6'6", 285 and wrestled like Steamboat. You know what I mean? Whereas like Logan Paul, yes, why is he so good for not like he should be clunky, and he's not.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it blows my mind that he's as good as he is and as fluid as he is.
And I would even something like Bad Bunny. Like Bad Bunny to me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's good as Logan Paul and like this, but like compare Logan Paul to like Ronda's first match with Triple H and all them. Yeah, that was good because that was a that was Triple H putting that all together. But like she's clunky though. You know what I mean? Like yeah, it's incredible. Like he's just an athlete. He's a player. That's just what you know what I mean? It's just like
and we kind of joked about it, but he gets it. Taking the pictures in the shower and in bed with the title belt and
everybody's pissed. Oh my god, another part-time guy's taking another title away from SmackDown. Yeah, but look what he's gonna bring so much credibility. Even much more credibility. So
And let's be honest, if he has a run from now until WrestleMania, he's not going to be very part time during that run.
Right.
I mean, we talked about it, like Royal Rumble's right around the corner. You got some big shows coming up, the road to WrestleMania. He's going to be a mainstay on the show during that time.
Right. And you know how Triple H is, like, he's much bigger on the secondary titles than Vince ever was. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the traditions of the US title and the IC title, he wouldn't just put it on Logan Paul for Logan Paul to shit on it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he's going to, like, appreciate it.
No, I agree. And it seems like he already has. Like he's talked about it glowingly. Like when he's been interviewed about it and stuff like that, like he's put it over immensely. Like so he gets it. Like, and it's crazy to me, but he gets it.
Yes.
I don't get it, but he gets it. I don't get him getting it is where I'm at with that. Like I
know.
You know,
my kids cannot stand. Well, I don't know, they can't stand. Like Liam cannot stand him. I said, Liam, look what happened. Logan Paul. They say, oh my god. Oh, look at all that prime everywhere. You know.
Oh yeah, and I was watching it with Caleb, and he said something about he goes, oh, he's got a bottle of Prime. I said, yeah, look at that product placement. He's standing on the corner. He's got the bottle of Prime with the label turned out. He's got the championship on his shoulder and just hitting that pose. And I was like, oh my gosh, dude, he's always fucking selling. Like, I gotta give him props though. I can't, what am I gonna say? The dude is uber successful and is, a self-made billionaire, and on his spare time he likes to roll around with sweaty men on a mat. So
yeah, when he doesn't have to,
all right, yeah,
and he just boxed not too long ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's just the dude's an athlete, man.
He had an awesome entrance. Like, yeah, I mean, this is great, man. I got nothing else. Let's see.
I will say, I hated the ending of it.
Oh, with the nuts.
Oh, yeah. So go ahead, Rye.
Yeah. So why is Escobar just casually throwing the brass knucks back on the ring apron?
Right. So is that
now
on
I
purpose?
need to know,
yeah, I think
is he turning? It's got to be, right?
I think so.
So,
which is fine because Escobar is a way better heel.
Yeah,
definitely.
Legado, Santos Escobar, like whoever this guy that's been in the LWO for the last 6 months, I don't even recognize that guy. Like he's not the same guy, and not that it's been bad, but you can tell that you can kind of tell like he's been dropping little hints here and there that he's not cool playing the second banana. He's used to being the made guy. So I think more and more you're going to start seeing. Now, do they keep the LWO separate with Ray? Is like the LWO now going to be like Ray and Carlito, and they bring somebody else up, and maybe Legado kind of goes out on their own and reforms that package? Or because really the two that have kind of lost out on this are Joaquin Wild and guy, I can't remember the other guy's name right now, but the other two guys from Legado, I mean, they've been kind of the forgotten too. Like they don't really get as much TV time. They don't get a lot of match time. Like it's just, they've just been kind of like, they've just been kind of like the two little, side balls dragging along,
Did you see that picture on Twitter of Dusty Rhodes? It's popped up.
Dusty Rhodes?
Of Dusty Rhodes from years ago. Because you just said balls. It's a picture of him from sometime in the 80s or something like that. And he's sitting on like his porch or something or whatever. He's got these short shorts on, and like one of his nuts is hanging out. so somebody posted it, like multiple people posted it, and one of them said, "Here's a sweet picture of Dusty and Cody."
Oh my god!
I'll have to find it, and I will.
Oh,
I don't know.
Kevin, I'll be okay if you don't find that.
Because a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, I can't unsee this picture now."
That sounds like my American nightmare.
Yeah. Whoa.
Oh man. So then the women's championship match, and Riley successfully picked Io to win, but I don't even think he saw Kairi Sane coming out of nowhere to make that happen.
Nope. So I'm glad she's back. I always liked her. It just seemed awkward, and I don't know, just didn't seem to flow very well.
Which part? What do you mean by that? Elaborate for me.
With when she came out, I don't know. It just the whole match was not for me.
Yeah, it wasn't a great match.
Yeah.
I will say that. And that there's the crowd had like I think I don't know if I texted our group chat or if it was the Discord chat, but the crowd like just died for that match. I mean, there was no crowd participation at all.
Because I think the next match was Cody, right? And then
Cody, and then the Roman LA Knight.
Because Cody's like entrance kind of brought him back to life a little bit. So
so somebody from the crowd had sent an email to, maybe it was Sam Roberts or somebody like that, and they had said that they don't allow drinks in the arena, and that desert air like dries everybody out. They said so a lot of people got up during that match and went and got a drink because they knew that Cody and Priest were coming up, and they're basically there was 2 matches left on the card, so like if we're going to get something to drink, like this is our time to do it. So it was like a lot of the crowd just wasn't even present for that match, and that might have been part of what was going on with that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So but yeah, man, with but it was kind of cool having Kyrie come out, and the crowd definitely kind of got back into it for that. There was it must have been, maybe it was a chemistry thing with Io and Bianca. Like it just didn't. You're right. It didn't really seem to flow the way that it should have. And I was honestly surprised Io walked away with the championship. But adding to that awkwardness though, and Michael Cole at least pointed it out, that Bayley was the one who put Io out, or not Io, Kyrie out of WWE.
Yeah.
So, at least that ties a little bit into that storyline now. So now you're probably gonna have Io and Kyrie branching off on their own. There's even been some rumors that they will get Asuka involved and have kind of like their own faction with the 3 of them, which I don't know if Asuka needs to be a part of something like that, but
yeah,
who knows? But that'd be a very AEW thing to do.
Yes.
Bring back like a faction from Stardom that half the audience doesn't even know existed.
Right. Although in WWE it'd probably be well done.
They would actually pay to get the footage and use it and create a good video package with it.
Yes.
Introduce the audience to it the right way.
Yes.
Probably. Yeah. Not just assume that they know it. All right. And then Cody versus Priest. Man, this was a fun match. Can I take a sidebar real quick? I've been meaning to bring this up for the last couple of weeks. Damian Priest is just fucking cool, dude. I'm really starting to enjoy the character Damian Priest. I didn't get it at first, the whole Archer of Infamy thing. He kind of started to get me though towards the end of his NXT run when he won the North American title and jumped in a hot tub with who was the girl that I can't remember her name now, but there was a couple of girls he jumped in a hot tub with and with his full gear on. All right, he seemed like he was having fun, but just dude, he reminds me, he's the best combination of Razor Ramon and Diesel. He's got the cool factor of a Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. Even when he wears the tag championships, having the one tucked into the other, how fucking that looks so fucking badass. That looks great. Nobody's even done that before, and he makes it just look cool. And watching him on Raw during that scuffle, the way he was laying his kicks in and stuff like that, looked totally like Kevin Nash. The way he throws his forearms in, the high knees that he throws and stuff like that. So he's a really good combination of those two guys, and I've always been big fans of those two guys. So maybe that's part of it. But man, I just want to give
he's a we talk about future top guys. with his size, stature, everything, like, and how he's just gotten better, like
Mm-hmm.
like month by month, week by week, whatever. Like easily, I could see him being like, like you said, like a Kevin Nash, like top guy in the future. Especially how he used to look. You know what I mean? The transformation he's done with himself and
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
everything. Like, yeah, he has it all. He has that it factor. He has that total package. So
So
Yeah.
how long before he splits from Judgment Day?
It's got to be coming up close, man.
Yep.
Like I feel like, but the unfortunate thing about it though is I feel like it's going to cost him his Money in the Bank opportunity, and that's what's going to cause a split. Like
Yeah.
they're going to somehow screw him out of that, and that's the catalyst to him leaving Judgment Day. And that kind of sucks because, like Kevin said, like he has all the tools, but I feel like even if that were to happen, he would find his way there eventually anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like Austin Theory's got 30 years left in this business. Like he doesn't need to be world champion right now. That's going to happen for him. He's going to have a Roman Reigns level run one day as a world champion. I guarantee it. Priest maybe not so much. Like he's a little older. He's a bigger guy, so you never know what's going to happen with his knees and things like that. So I feel like the window for him is going to be a lot smaller to where, if they are going to make a run with him, it's going to have to be relatively soon, right? So whether or not, like, even if he cashes in and loses it a couple of weeks later, but then gets back in that title picture and works his way back up, like I could see that
see,
happening with him.
I would almost hope for him that he would be one of these people that like, hey, I'm cashing in on this day against you, and then he just goes out and dominates. Not, I mean, it's still a good match, but ends up convincingly beating Rollins to really put himself like up and over and have his run with the world title.
Yeah, like kind of get tired of like the close calls and just
But the
say,
thing is,
what,
though,
fuck
too,
it.
is like, I mean, I know he's in this run as the IC champ, but I can honestly see like Gunther being a long term world champion. You know what I mean? Gunther's another guy. I don't know how
Yeah,
old he is, but he's been around for a while. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's
yeah. It's a tough call
it's a good
either way you
problem to
go.
have, though. You got
No, I agree with you. It is a good problem to have. Anytime you have too many top guys, it's definitely a good problem to have. Cody definitely get the win there. Cody looked like Cody, man. He looked good. Like you can't really poke too many holes in his game. Cody seems prime for that top spot. I don't think LA Knight's quite there yet, and we found that out in the next match. But LA Knight swam with Roman. I mean, it was a hell of a match. It was a competitive match. It was back and forth. There were moments of that match that you thought LA Knight could pull it off, and it took Roman getting some help to get the W, which put him over, I think, even more. So I think LA Knight's going to come out of this stronger. I don't see this being a detriment to LA Knight. This was not like a quote unquote burial of him or anything like that going forward. And we talked about that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. The match just kind of was what it was for me. I guess I don't know.
it was a long PLE. Like, I think by the end of that, like, it was just kind of, I don't know. Riley, how'd you feel about it? Was it a good match or was it just kind of exhausting?
It was a good match, but like you said, the whole thing overall was long.
Yeah.
So if you just watch that match, it was a good match.
Yeah,
But
I feel like you could have done without. I mean, I know you had the return of Kyrie Sane and stuff. Like you could have almost done without that or something maybe, and
Yeah.
maybe done without something else. I don't know, but
I think honestly what it was is that they didn't know how long they were going to have John Cena for. So I'm guessing that match was kind of like a last minute add on. So I think that match was probably not originally in the schedule for the show because typically they're going what six to eight usually about 6 matches total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that would have been, and that's the 7th match. So I think that
Yeah.
one just kind of got added, and that might have been what made the show feel a lot longer and be a lot longer, is having that extra 7th match in there, because they also wanted to give those guys time. They didn't want to rush it to tell the right story to help put Solo over. And maybe the LA Knight Roman match suffered a little bit because of it, but you gotta think back, man. Like any like top guy doesn't go straight to the world championship. I know I mentioned this a little bit last week, but remember, like, Steve Austin had matches against The Undertaker and Bret Hart when they were world champion, when he was on his come up. But he didn't win it until way later on, when he lost those matches, but that set him up for the future. Then he had an IC title run. And, so I honestly feel like this is going to lead to LA Knight at WrestleMania dethroning Logan Paul for that U.S. championship. I think coming out of WrestleMania, you'll see LA Knight as U.S. champion, not Logan Paul. I think Logan Paul is going to get us there. And then the promos between, because really this started back at Money in the Bank, right? That's when this whole LA Knight thing started, when he said, I got a map and to show you where to shove those bottles of Prime. Like that,
Yeah.
that line is like almost what started all of this. So it seems like it would only be fitting that it comes down to the two of them, right?
It seems like it seems logical.
Yeah. But well, Kevin, you won there on the picks. You got 5 out of the 7 right. Riley and I both got 3, but we got a different 3.
Okay. I unofficially retain my championship still.
Yep, unofficially still champ. All right, let me close out of that real quick. All right. And then, kind of fast forward to Monday Night Raw, kind of still a Judgment Day thing. But, I mean, the biggest thing that came out of Monday Night Raw, though, and we kind of got the tease already at Crown Jewel, that War Games was coming back to Survivor Series. But Monday Night Raw finally set it up, right? Now you got the match.
How good was Adam Pearce's delivery?
That was...
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love William Regal, but Adam Pearce was pretty damn good.
You like ripped the glasses off and like
Yeah.
looked in the camera.
Did you see he tweeted, I think it was today, it was a still frame of him like going crazy or whatever, and it says love somebody today or something.
Like he reacted to it when it first posted and said something like, I need a drink or something like that.
Yeah.
But
dude, he's hilarious. When he would do the oh god, what's that thing where he would start saying something serious and it was never gonna give you up.
Oh, the Rick roll.
Rick roll, yeah. He'd do that constantly.
I feel like that's what happens every time Tony Khan says he has a special announcement. Now, I mean, as far as everything that happened with Monday Night Raw, the Fatal 4-Way to set up the IC Championship match with Gunther and Miz is going to be the challenger. So a little controversy at the end of that. That match was fun. It was a good match, but basically it ended with Ivar hitting a moonsault and Bronson Reed missing a tsunami on Miz. So Miz got the pin on Bronson Reed. Wow.
So I guess was that a mess up or something, they said?
Well, see, that's what Meltzer said. Meltzer claims that Ricochet was concussed and he kicked out when he wasn't supposed to. And that's why there was controversy. Personally, I think that's kind of dumb. I don't think that's what happened. I think Ricochet was supposed to kick out. I think the controversy is that the commentators watch the monitors. They don't watch what's going on in the ring. So depending on what they're seeing in the monitor, they might only be looking at one shoulder and not the other. But clearly, Miz was counted the winner. But the referee kind of seemed confused at first too, which was a little weird.
Yeah.
But he counted Miz as the winner, and then they start playing his music and all that too.
I mean, it makes more sense for Miz to win it. Like, why not? Longest reigning Intercontinental
Yeah,
Champion against the guy who's won it the most times. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So
But then the other part of it though was the attack that Ivar had on Miz. Like he beat the shit out of him afterwards.
mhm.
So I guess in that, so if it was a botch and they were both supposed to get the pin, and that was supposed to lead to the match they're having next week on Raw. So I guess maybe if there was a botch and Ricochet wasn't supposed to kick out, maybe Ivar beating the shit out of him was their way of getting to the match. Like that was an audible called on the fly.
Yeah.
So either that was a really good audible or everything happened the way it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know where to come out on that. Like maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but that was one hell of an audible if it wasn't the way it was supposed to go down.
Yeah, the only person that didn't know what was going on was the ref, it seemed like. Everything
Yeah.
else seemed like it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So, are they turning the Miz into a face again? I
Yes.
mean,
Yes.
they were definitely chanting for him there, and even
Yeah.
that crown jewel.
His promo that he had with Gunther a couple of weeks ago kind of started that process a little bit. It was very talking smack-esque of his rant again on Bryan. But yeah, it seems like that's kind of the way they're going. Babyface Miz. I'm not gonna. I mean, I've always liked Miz. I'm not gonna. I'll cheer for him. But I was reminded, huh?
Yeah, me too. I'm a fan of the Miz.
To turn Miz babyface was when he tagged with Shane McMahon at Fastlane in Cleveland,
Yeah.
and Shane turned on him after the match, and everybody in the crowd was booing the shit out of Shane McMahon. Except that little blonde girl may or may not have been my daughter.
Yeah, no. I knew who you were talking about.
Oh man, but yeah. So I'm good with it. Go Miz. I'm trying to think. I mean, the stuff that. Go ahead.
War Games is going to be 4-on-4 then.
Well, but that's the thing though. Corey made it a point to say that it's a traditionally 5-on-5 match. So is each team going to add somebody? Because for the Judgment Day, I feel like McIntyre is the option, right? Like I feel like they've kind of teased that enough that where they could easily slide McIntyre on that team. But then who's the? Is it Orton?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Oh,
Is it Punk?
That's what I was gonna say. If Judgment Day adds Nakamura, then Punk gets added to the other one. But the problem is Punk's gonna be in AEW, so
you think Punk's the devil?
we'll get to
that. Okay. Yeah, like I'm still on Punk's coming back to WWE.
I'll tell you what. Let's just get into it because whatever. Okay. AEW. I will say, like I was telling Riley out there, like I thought it was a good show, start to finish last night.
It was.
I don't think there was any.
It's 2 weeks in a row.
I don't think there was any misses. Yes, were there more? They're either trolling too, and just kind of doing what WWE's been doing. They started doing a lot of CM Punk references last night. The shit that
I didn't catch that.
So what Omega said to the Young Bucks, talking about them being whiny little kids. The thing. Remember the Punk said in the press about, I'm sick of working with, what do you say, whiny kids or something like that.
He said something along those lines, but wasn't that exactly?
Well, it was whatever he said. Omega said last night to the Young Bucks.
Okay.
So he kind of referenced that. There was the spot with the people that attacked the Acclaim. So supposedly that was real glass.
Yeah.
Which is another.
Was that okay? Somebody had asked, was that real glass that he went? I don't think that was real glass. He went right through that. There's no way that was real glass.
Well, whether it was real glass or not, glass spot. You know what I mean?
But the guy standing there looked like Roddy Strong.
Yeah, see, I don't know. Like, so my other thinking is, are some of these masked people FTR?
Okay.
Because FTR did trademark CM FTR.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying like I 100% believe it's CM Punk. There are like,
I thought one of the guys from FTR was hurt though.
well, yeah, I mean, but he could still
Yeah,
be
true.
around. Like I said,
I mean,
I'm not saying like all I'm saying is that AEW now is doing a good job of making you believe that it could be him too.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, in all of this, Punk's the smartest one because he's making everybody believe
Yeah.
anything they want them.
Everything's
Yeah,
relevant.
everything's relevant. So, I mean, there was other theories that like could the devil actually be MJF and that just be like a videotape because you have evil MJF, whereas evil MJF hates Jay White, he hates the Acclaim. Like, I don't know. I just thought that was a cool theory, like to think about. Like,
Yeah,
is it the devil the whole time him, or are these just like tape vignettes or something?
yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's going to come full circle this weekend.
At Full Gear.
Yeah.
Let's kick up full circle at Full Gear.
Yes. But the latest poll I saw, like leading, everybody thinks it's Adam Cole.
Oh yeah, I've always thought it was Adam Cole from the beginning. I never bought that ankle injury was legit, especially when the whole thing like putting off surgery to help out Roddy Strong and like things like that. Like
Plus, they never showed him in like his foot at the same time.
Yeah.
If they did, he was completely wrapped up.
Yeah.
But like when they showed a picture of his ankle, like we don't know if that was his ankle, but you never saw him. So and the theory too of like the first devil was Britt Baker. You know what I mean? Like so, you know, I yes, honestly, I think that's probably where because and I'd be fine with that. Like I'd rather be Adam Cole because guess what? You've got another like years worth of stories with these two. You've already had such a great
Yeah.
story with those two that this is just gonna like.
Well, I don't know. They may have another. I mean, if what MJF says is true, his contract is up in 2 months. So does he stay with AEW?
Boy, I don't know.
I think he does.
I think he will too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I just maybe.
It would
I mean,
it would have to like. I mean, the negotiations for him to go to WWE is that whether whether obviously Triple H, but running it, but still like he's gonna want to go there and be like top guy, like Cody level, like you know what I mean, like Roman top level stuff to get him there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
And you would want that too. Like that's the way you negotiate it. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
I understand you haven't accomplished what
but he's got to get there and he's got to earn it, though. You know what I mean? Like
right,
that's
but that's still, but he knows that like, okay, I could probably make just as much money in AEW and be this top level guy. So if WWE really wants me, now you're gonna have to pay me, but you're gonna have to like almost kind of promise me this and that. You know what I mean? Like, so he has a lot of negotiation power. I truly believe.
here's the thing, though. I don't think like Tony Khan could back up the Brinks truck and probably afford to pay him whatever he wanted, but you got to think of the endorsement deals that he could get with WWE and the the other opportunities that being a part of that company opens up that are exposure and financial, like the movie, like there's so many things that type of exposure would be so much greater on that side than it would be on AEW.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that kind of makes me think that's he may lean that way. And maybe he signs like a 3-year deal. Like I just feel like that I feel like his goal is to eventually be in WWE. Whether that's this contract or his next contract, I feel like eventually he's going to be there because I very very much like Kenny Omega, I don't think I would ever look at MJF as being a complete wrestler, being a complete star, like professional wrestler, like that upper echelon type guy, unless he were to have a run in WWE.
Yeah. And me, like personally, like if it ever came to fruition that he did sign with WWE, he would be the guy that I would have beat Roman.
Yeah.
Because boom, right on, and that might piss a lot of people off who are already into WWE or WWE fans. But if you want this guy and like this guy if anywhere, is more of a future than any other talent right now in any company as far as, you know, rocketing off wrestling into the next whatever 15, 20 years. It's MJF.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, I honestly think it would probably be better for him to sign maybe a 3-year deal and stay in AEW and keep cultivating what he's building right now, because I think he's kind of on the cusp of. I think he's like, it's almost like he's like a college player that's had like a really solid year and could be a very high draft pick, but if he stays in college just a couple more years, damn, he's going to be really
But
good when he finally gets to the big time.
but credit to your point though too is that where he might start looking at is there's a lot of talks about, because the whole thing with was it is it SmackDown or Raw not being on one of their channels anymore?
NXT is going to the
It's
CW.
going to the CW, which is funny because Nick Aldis shared that on his Instagram story, and that was NWA's deal, but they kind of
Mm-hmm.
ruined that with the old cocaine spot. And
Yep.
Nick Aldis, of all people, shared that, so everybody thought that was kind of funny. I thought that was funny. The rumor, well, I guess the supposed theory out there is that um, the possibility of WWE going on TBS because AEW's deal is coming up with them, and they haven't re-signed anything with TBS.
They have
So
not.
really, like once their deal is up, they have no TV deal, like really. And they also said that they could lead the WWE moving to HBO Max from Peacock, too. So if they go with, how funny would that be? How hilarious would that be? Is if WWE ended up on Turner, and then they were able to get the deal with like Max and stuff. So you know what I mean? Like if I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but if stuff like that happen, what the hell does AEW do? I mean, are they
Yeah,
would they find? I mean, I'm sure they could find a TV deal, but are they going to find something like a TBS or like a TNT? Like, you think USA would pick them up? I don't see it.
I don't either. Riley, any 2 cents thrown on this?
No.
All right,
He's get
cool.
he's
No, I just
Yeah, I mean, we kind of went off on a bit of a tangent, but honestly, there really isn't all that much to talk about on the weekly stuff. Anyway, I was going to start moving in towards AEW, so I guess we might as well just kind of stick with it. It's gonna be interesting to see where Raw ends up because SmackDown found a home. They're going to USA. NXT is going to CW. So Raw is that last domino to fall, right? So do they go more with a network thing? But freaking Fox almost kind of fucked over WWE in a way by saying that the reason they didn't re-sign SmackDown is because they didn't feel like they got a good return on their investment. Like he discussed that during an earnings call, and it got put out there in the public. Like typically that's not something you do. Like so that kind of I think hurt maybe some credibility a little bit. Maybe maybe they fell short of the expectations, but I don't know. It's hard to say, but I mean, it's like one of those things where wrestling just isn't looked at in the same vein as a lot of other like sports and TV shows, and they're kind of held to like different rules and different standards, unfortunately, and the advertising. So, but that's the thing though, is that on Fox's advertising department for not being able to sell it, or is that on WWE for not having a product that somebody could sell, right? Like, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. I always thought SmackDown's done pretty well on since they've been on Fox.
Yeah.
Even through like the times like right like leading up before Triple H took over and stuff. Like I always thought SmackDown was doing better. You know what I mean?
I
So
mean, the ratings have been there, like they've been delivering, but it just seems like a per capita, like basically what it sounded like it boiled down to is that they were not making the revenue off of the ads that they thought that they would make.
yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is too, like I don't know, wrestling on Friday or Saturday night is tough. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like if it was a Thursday show, maybe I don't know, but like I said, it, if it's a one-time special, like like Saturday night's main event used to do, or they used to do the main event on Friday nights, like once a month type thing, like yeah, that'll pull in some ratings, that'll pull in some stuff. But I think, and to their credit, they've done well. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like, could they do better? Yeah, but maybe if they were on a different night, possibly.
yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Like I'm curious to see what happens with Monday Night Raw. But yeah, I mean, to your point though, Dynamite was a solid show, and that's 2 weeks in a row. But again, they stuck to a good format. They had their A story, which is the MJF story that kind of bled through the entire show, and then you had your B story, which is Swerve and
That
Hangman,
was
which
the Swerve match, and was it Penta.
yeah, Swerve and Penta.
Good match. That was a
Yeah,
heck of a match. Start off the dude. I thought you hear his fucking elbow,
yeah, it sounded like it actually snapped.
man.
I gotta give a big shout out to Swerve too when he did the Zero Miero and then did the put it
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
dude. I like the stuff they've been doing. Like when he busted into Hangman's house last week and shit. Like it
Mhm.
was at the
Yeah.
like, dude. That was yeah. I really they've done a really good job of coming up with a good another good story, another good little rivalry. Especially guess what? It doesn't involve a title. They got
Mhm.
16,000 titles and it doesn't involve a title or anything. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
yeah, I definitely that'd be definitely a match I would look forward to
What
seeing.
do you think of Samoa Joe relinquishing the ROH TV title?
All right, Riley, I'll let you take this one because you haven't talked in like 45 minutes. So,
All right. Pass.
yes. Dude.
So what was
So
your note?
yeah,
What was your note for this week then? Since
Oh no, I'll talk about Samoa Joe. So Samoa Joe is probably one of my favorite wrestlers on AEW. Um, he's one of the reasons I watch the show still. Um, I I'm happy that he vacated it versus losing it. Just keeps him looking stronger. Um, but every time he loses, he always loses by like a roll up or
yeah,
something like that. Always,
like
every time he
a quick,
loses.
yeah.
Yeah. But I think the Keith Lee and him had a good match. I'm just curious to see now who's going to take the title.
Yeah, and I'd honestly be fine if they don't. Like, I almost feel like they just need to get rid of the ROH shit.
Well, somebody said that too. Somebody's like, this should be a sign or a foreshadowing that they need to just focus on their AEW titles and then just have Ring of Honor have its own separate. If they have shows or whatever, like they don't need a show every week. Maybe have some Ring of Honor shows every other week or something, or they don't need to be on like a TV. You know what I mean? Like you can
Do a weekly YouTube show called Ring of Honor.
yeah, like that's what somebody said. Like they need to focus on separating, getting all those titles over there. Um, so I think Samoa Joe is going to be MJF's partner.
Yeah, probably. Because at this point, it doesn't matter. He already made his intentions known. He's going
Yeah.
after him regardless.
Yes.
So, why at this point, why shouldn't he just take him on as partner? But yeah, it'd be interesting to see kind of what happens there. I mean, the whole thing with MJF wrestling twice on a pay-per-view too, like it just some of that's a little overkill, personally.
Yeah,
Um,
like once in a blue moon is fine, but like
is this weekend Full Gear?
yeah.
Next weekend.
Oh, next weekend.
Next
Oh, okay. I
weekend.
thought it was,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll do our predictions for Full Gear
yeah,
next week then.
like that's what we talked about. Like for All in Wembley, you've had this whole build up with him and Adam Cole and being friends and this and that, and like they're the main event. Like, but then they open the show. Like a
Mm-hmm.
big time show like that. Like I don't want to see them until the very end. It'd be like
Mm-hmm.
this is the point I made, Riley. It's like it'd be like Hogan and the Warrior for the Ultimate Challenge. All that build up and everything. They're the main event. You might see them halfway through the show doing a backstage vignette or promo, which they did, but like that's the only time you see him. You imagine if like Hogan and the Warrior were in the opening match going against Andre and Haku for the tag titles instead of Demolition. You know what I mean? Like it just to me it just kills the buzz of the anticipation of that. Like in 3 hours, this is going to happen. You know what I mean? So I just maybe for an event like this, sure. Like I just when they did it all in, I wasn't happy about that. But
yeah. But that's the thing, though. In this case, it's not even that scenario, right? It's just MJF defending a tag title before he has to defend the world title, which he doesn't even have. He still doesn't have possession of the world title. So it's like it's just such a weird concept to me. And it's like it's almost like why not? I feel like this match would be with him and Jay White. It'd almost be better if it was a ladder match at this point, right? Because he's been holding the title hostage. Like put it up in a ladder or something like that. Like I feel like that would be a perfect story scenario to have that type of a gimmick. Not that MJF really needs it, but
oh man, sorry, I had to stand up for a second. I just got the worst cramp. Sorry, I just got the.
I've never been happier in my life to see you have pants on than right now.
I just got the worst like Charlie horse in my leg. Oh my god. Yeah, you didn't want to see my Cody Rhodes.
Right.
Oh god.
So Jason, through all 300 some episodes we've done, do you think I record every episode like with no pants on or something?
I don't know. Like I feel like that's been mentioned before, but
oh man. Whew.
But it just you stood up and like literally like your crotch area went straight to the camera. Yeah. So it was like it's a good thing he's wearing pants right now.
Sorry.
I mean, I'm not going to confirm or deny if I have pants on at the moment. I mean, you can only see like my half chest up on this camera. So
wasn't there? Didn't you like reach back one time or something? And Mike and I were commenting how your ass crack was hanging out.
Yeah,
and Jason just full on like moonless.
Yeah, like they like I got up to go get something or something like that. Apparently my pants had come down a little bit and my ass crack was out. And they didn't tell me that, but they were making like little subtle jokes about it through the entire episode.
Yeah, can we hurry up and get this show over? I have to get up at the crack of dawn.
Yeah. Well, I honestly, I mean, I know you're just kind of joking about that, but I really don't have anything else. I mean, we covered everything I wanted to talk about. We covered some of the news and notes. The where is CM Punk going to show up? I still think it's WWE. I don't think he's the devil. The part of that part that just it would be pretty epic of them to pull that off. Like for them to have that dedication to be able to pull that shit off would be, and the fact that Punk has kind of like trolled it himself a little bit. Oh yeah, like I got nothing to do for the next 3 months, or when he's been on the MMA commentary.
It could be one of the biggest moments they've ever had.
Yeah,
if he reveals himself to be the devil. So,
I mean that to me, and I know a lot of people probably shit on me saying this, but that's very similar to Hogan being the third man to me. I mean, just the fact that this day and age they could pull that off.
Yeah, not the same, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, it just just that level of back then without social media, you could pull off a surprise like that.
Yes,
but the amount of manipulation of the dirt sheet writers to major media to basically really ribbing your own locker room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the amount of dedication that would have to go into pulling that off would be pretty fucking epic.
Yes.
Especially this day and age.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think it's I think Roddy Strong was one of the guys standing there. I think the other members of the Kingdom might have been standing there. I think Kyle O'Reilly was one of the guys standing there.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be a faction with MJF and those guys, and that's what, or not MJF, Adam Cole and those guys, and that's what's going to lead to this. And maybe it is Britt behind the mask.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I don't know.
And
another person to think about real quick too before we wrap up is Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
So he could be another possibility of something.
I mean, he has a history with MJF, but it wouldn't make sense as to everything else that's going on.
No, it wouldn't. But I mean, if you want like a next like a little bit of a heel challenger, like he could be somebody. You know, is he believe? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying it would be believable,
to your point though, that's a one-off. Where Adam Cole, that's a year-long storyline.
That's you don't need anything
And I
else.
feel like you don't do something like this without it becoming a year-long storyline, right?
Yeah, I don't. Boy, I don't know. But I tell you what, I'd almost rather them not like reveal it at Full Gear.
Keep it going.
Yeah, I think you could keep it going. But
Yeah.
I'm sure they probably will though.
Yeah.
So,
or if it is CM Punk, like wait until like the day before Survivor Series.
oh my god, oh my god,
All these people that are gonna tune into Survivor Series
do
thinking CM Punk's gonna come back from Chicago.
do it on Rampage.
I almost feel like if WWE did have CM Punk coming back, I almost feel like they would have to let the cat out of the bag and not have it be a surprise. Only because, like, especially if AEW keeps trying to troll and make it seem like he's the devil. Like, how do you play that game? You know what I mean? Because you're almost helping them out by not saying anything because you're
Right.
allowing them to tease. And it's almost kind of the same thing for AEW. Like, you're almost allowing WWE to kind of plant the seed that he might be there.
Right.
When, you know,
I don't know.
although that's kind of, yeah, because it'd be one thing if it was just Punk making gestures like, oh, like, you know, making it sound like he might show up at a WWE event. But with WWE putting like the X in the locker room and, you know, using his phrases and Shinsuke using his move and, you know, saying set me free in his promo and shit like that, like, there's too much there that, you know, I don't think that they would do something like that unless they knew he was coming back. But I don't know. But hey, last thing before we wrap up, congrats to Corey Graves and Carmella. I guess Carmella went 60 hours of labor to finally give birth to their baby boy. So congrats to them for having their baby. But so maybe Corey Graves won't be on commentary for the next couple of weeks, which will be sad. But it won't be that sad if McAfee fills in.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Nobody else cares about that. Maybe JBL.
I don't like McAfee as a announcer. I like him. He's better in the ring. He's funner in the ring. He's just
McAfee has the second greatest call in WWE history, in my opinion. The second greatest call on the microphone. The first, to me, my very first, like my favorite call ever is Jim Ross from Hulk Hogan versus The Rock at WrestleMania 18 when Hulk started his comeback and then he hits the big boot and the leg drop. As he's hitting the leg drop, Jim Ross yells, "He beat Andre the Giant with that move!" Like, it's just perfect timing.
I would tell you what, Jason, I don't know if it's my favorite call ever, but that's definitely my top like 3.
Goosebumps every single time
when he said that, because that like brought you back. Like that just like, oh my god, like he beat Andre the fucking Giant with that move. Like, you know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah.
But how he said it too. Yeah, I will agree. That's
And then the second to me is John Cena makes his triumphant return at Money in the Bank with Roman Reigns in the ring.
And he says, "Where?"
And Michael Cole fanboys out going, "Oh my God, it's John Cena!" And then McAfee, without missing a beat, "Where?" That was such a fucking perfect line. I loved it. Every time I hear that, it makes me smile too. So I will forever love Pat McAfee because of that one line. That one word really is perfectly timed.
No,
all right.
Honestly, the best call ever is Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold.
Yeah.
It's got to be number 1.
Or Tyson and Austin. I mean, really, like, You could really just have a soundbite of Jim
I mean,
Ross for anything that could be number one.
That and when he said the Austin era has begun, that's right up there.
Yeah.
That's right up there actually with Gorilla Monsoon saying Hulkamania is here.
Yeah.
So I would say Hulkamania is here and the Austin era has begun.
Riley, got any that stand out to you while we're on the topic?
Pass.
I've never
Never put that much thought into it.
yeah, no.
Have you given us your one note for the show yet before we
Oh,
close out?
I have not.
All right, what was your one note?
So my one note is for AEW.
Okay.
And they have, they're promoting other shows that happen on their station. I believe TBS. And Wipeout just happens to be one of them.
Yes.
Right.
And they have to bring up John Cena every time. I think the first time they did it, they're like, "No, you can't say that." I'm like, "What? He's on the show. I have to. I don't know."
Yeah, I heard Taz go, I know that guy.
Yeah. I love it.
Oh man, dude, can you imagine? Let's say Monday Night Raw ends up going to TBS and they're gonna cut their contract with AEW. Can you imagine the commercials that TBS would be playing for Monday Night Raw while AEW was still on the air for like those like couple weeks before like the transition were to happen? All right. Well, hey, thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please give us your feedback. Let us know what you thought, leaving a comment on Apple or on Spotify. You can also hit us up on Elon Musk's X, formerly Twitter, by finding us at Live Your Gimmick. That's the @ symbol followed by LIVYOURGIMMICK. You can also find us on TikTok and on YouTube by just searching Gimmick Minute, and you'll find our logo and a bunch of videos that get posted. Like the one I just posted from last week, where we talk about Roman Reigns and something I don't even remember. But I still got to post the one where Kevin's talking to Michael about CM Punk coming back and putting the challenge out. So I'll have to make sure.
The last one I saw was when Riley first said pass.
Yeah. Well, I just got one out. I just got one out this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm never on TikTok, so I guess I never.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you guys could like find it and like it, and different things like that, that's always helpful. To help promote our brand. So, but Riley's girlfriend liked it, so that was good.
Well, that's all that matters. Then.
What's TikTok? It's the sound my clock makes.
And on that note, we'll go ahead and close out the show. Again, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week. We'll give some predictions for Full Gear, so it'll probably be a little bit more AEW centric next week with not a whole lot going on in WWE for the next week, because SummerSlam or Survivor Series will be coming up the week after that with War Games. So we'll get you caught up on what's happening there. And whether or not they're going to add a fifth member to each War Games team. Real quick though, gut instinct? Do you think they just go 4-on-4? Do you think they each add another member?
I heard from Meltzer that Mabel's going to be the fifth man.
They're going to resurrect the ghost of Mabel and put him in as the fifth man in the Judgment Day team. What do you think, Riley?
That's a serious question. Okay, sorry.
No, they're going to, I guess, bring somebody else in.
Okay, so you think it'll be 5-on-5?
Yeah, I think each team will have a mystery opponent or something.
Okay. Last year it just worked out perfect with Sammy still being a part of the bloodline to add that fifth member, but this year it's a little bit more difficult because Judgment Day only has four, unless they add Rhea to it. Maybe they pick up a female on the other team and have Rhea and like Raquel in it or something like that. That'd be the
Brandy.
Brandy said she's done wrestling, so I don't think that's that'd be a little tough to get to. Jade, throw Jade Cargill in there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll find out. We'll find out next week, and so much more. But again, thank you guys for listening. For Riley and Kevin, my name is Jason. Reminding you smokers out there to be a fan and always live your gimmick. Goodbye, everybody.
I heard.
No, I did not almost say it. I was making a point to say the right name. I didn't stumble it.